Progressives warned that if Donald Trump became president, he would turn the US into a dictatorship and no one would ever get to vote again. Except that in the UK, it's the Keir Starmer-led Labor government that's cancelling local elections. Joining me from the UK is Alex Armstrong. Alex, thanks for coming on the program. Why is Keir Starmer cancelling local government elections?
Well, you'd never believe that the most unpopular government in British history would want to cancel elections, would you, James? But that is exactly the situation we're in here in Britain. 4.5 million people are going to lose their right to vote for their local councils for a second year running. And what's happening now is this is escalating quite quickly. Reform UK, which is, of course, Nigel Farage's resurgent party, which is leading the polls, was going to be the party that would gain the most out of these council elections. Funnily enough, James, of course, they were cancelled again because the government has these devolution plans. They want to redraw boundaries and move councils around. But now the Reform UK are taking them to the High Court. They're actually taking the government to the High Court over this matter because even the Electoral Commission here in Britain has said there is simply no reason to cancel elections for 2 years in a row. So the Prime Minister's in hot water yet again. And again, it's funny, isn't it? Because they point to Russia, Russia, Russia if it was the left currently in the opposition benches. If it was Nigel Farage as Prime Minister, they'd say, you're acting like Putin, you're acting like a dictator. Yeah. But of course, when it comes to them, it's a different story.
I was going to say it's the reform fascists who are going to the court saying, we'd like to have elections, please.
Yeah, indeed. The far right, as the right in this country are constantly smeared as, James. That's the reality of Britain in 2026. But this is the problem, isn't it? The Prime Minister is so deeply unpopular, he will have a wipeout regardless, even though a few elections will take place. He's going to see a wipeout, which, of course, is probably going to trigger the Prime Minister to lose his job. I mean, I don't know how he still got it in the first place with the amount of sleaze and scandal going on. But, of course, it would be great for Keir Starmer to have them cancelled altogether.
Well, there's two candidates who could potentially topple him, as I understand it. Wes Streeting and Angela Rayner. What can you tell us about Streeting and Rayner? And is this becoming a case of, well, I guess you've just said it's a case of when rather than if, correct?
It is. And of course, we've got a by-election coming up, which is a parliamentary election in just a week's time. So at the moment, there's a lot of plotting. The Prime Minister is literally a caretaker Prime Minister. He's a zombie Prime Minister. Of course, this Mandelson scandal, whilst it seems to have abated, none of the leaders, the alternatives, Angela Rayner and Wes Streeting, were ready to topple the Prime Minister despite a failed coup, funnily enough, by the Scottish Labour leader. But they're, of course, plotting behind the scenes. Angela Rayner's got a big tax bill she needs to pay, so she's out the running at the moment. And Wes Streeting is still part of this Mandelson scandal, so he doesn't want to touch leadership now because he knows the Labour Party won't vote for him. Now, there's two key dates that are coming up. It's that by-election, which has taken out prime ministers before by-elections, and of course, local elections. So now Rayner and Streeting are plotting behind the scenes to try and win this race. However, I have a slight feeling that neither of them are going to get it, James, because there's dark horses in the Labour Party. We keep seeing names on front pages at the moment of different people who are coming forward. We might have the entire Labour Party standing for the leadership at this rate. It's such a mess in this government. You can't even make it up.
Well, we've only got a couple of seconds, so I just need one name. Who's your tip?
Ed Miliband.